Hey, how's it going, everybody? Bill T from Paint Minis Live here, coming in to check up on you and see how you're doing. Say, a couple things to talk about. Um, First off, let's talk about a couple of things here. We got a couple things to go over. Mainly, the first thing being, I have been away for a little bit. As you can tell, I've been away. Um, my parents found a new place to go and be at, which is awesome. But their old place needs a little fixing up. I was last weekend. I was there doing some drywall patching, some other things like that. So I was booked up for the whole weekend. Um, Good to see you, Cal. As always, wonderful. Also, I guess Go For It Painting was was on here earlier, but yeah, so they found this new place. It's really nice for them. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for them to kind of move into their new place when that rolls around. But that's kind of why I was away. I took Monday and Tuesday off work to be up there with them and get that all squared away. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday came back, worked a ton, and then now we're on to the weekend here. I'm taking this weekend for myself for now, but then next weekend I'll be up there with them again, just to make sure whatever they need is done to put their house on the market, and they can, they can go from there. But there's, it's just stuff that they need done. So I took a little time to do that, and it was kind of a rush thing. They found a listing on like Friday and then put an offer in over the weekend, and it panned out for them. So way to go, mom and dad, real happy about that one. But that's why I have been away for a little bit, which means I haven't been painting. So I'm hoping to weekend warrior the crap out of tonight and try and get just a bunch of stuff done. It's all odds and loose ends and just things that I kind of want to do that didn't really have a rhyme or reason for like having its own sincere title for a live stream like I usually do, like the Court of the Damned or Cal's Dwarves. I haven't come up with a good name. We'll have to come up with a good name for the series on your dwarves and your orcs there, Cal. Go For It Painting. How you doing? Good to see you. Wonderful to see you here. We also have another big announcement beyond just the I haven't been here because of my parents selling their house and all that. Another big announcement. We hit 100 subscribers on Paint Minis Live. And what's better than that? Like we've been seriously growing. Big shout out to Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver, and Kyle Schwan over on his channel as well, his co-host. I've been playing Conflict over there on Wednesday night. They invited me in to come play with them. But Bill has really helped get our channel off of its feet, as well as the Dungeon Minister, RPG Grandma, Frost and Fists, Who Took My Dice, Mini Warma, just so many. There's a banner down there. There's so many people. There's Bo Paints Minis. There's a huge list of people that have helped the channel just get off of its feet and to kind of grow, which is awesome. My whole goal with Paint Minis Live is to basically just spread the good word about model painting and the hobby in general, anything hobby like RPG, wargaming, those kinds of things. I'm just trying to spread the good word about it because I feel like there's a lot of community to be had here around something that's really kind of nice and not really wholesome, but it as wholesome as wargaming and hack and slash RPG goes, so I'm really happy that we're spreading that word and giving people a glimpse into something that they could do themselves, which I think is really important, and I do enjoy that. So, with that being said, again, a big thank you to everybody who's been on Team Paint Minis and subscribing to us over on YouTube and welcome to anybody who's coming over from Twitch now too. We're streaming on Twitch. We have a Discord. We've been growing exponentially, and it's a wonderful thing to see as an artist, as well as to just interact with other artists that perform wonderful work on their miniatures. I did some tests too on my laser, and this was kind of the result. This is the foam that I went and picked up. As you can see, it made really nice square holes out of it. This was just a test piece. So our Horde of the Damned, when they should get shipped off to Canada, these little skeletons will fit just right in there, nice and purty and comfy like. But I have some more updates on that that's going to be coming in a later date. So I got my foam test done so that I can make sure that those skeletons don't just get demolished on their way to Canada when they go to the Dungeon Minister, who, if you don't know, he's an actual minister that does a role-playing game, and he does recaps and stuff on it. Great time. Great time to be had over at the Dungeon Minister. For the Horde, anyways, we have our lovely General Panic skeleton model here that we've been working on. If I can get the camera to focus, I think it's a little confused, but yeah, okay, there you go. So we have General Panic here, riding his bony steed. We're gonna do some weathering on him tonight, is what I envision doing. I think Cows Dwarves, I might do a little something with them. I've got a massive dragon here that needs to get done for Bill Sylvie as kind of a thank you thing. We've done a decent amount of work on it. I'd like to do some more. I think those are kind of the three big things that I'd like to tackle tonight. So, hey, what's up, Road March? Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Yeah, this is Framboy, like berry Framboy beer. And yeah, I'm drinking it out of a Kern's jar. That is the drink of choice tonight. So let me get the camera situated here, and we can get some weathering effects done on Senior Panic. How's everybody doing tonight? Like, what's everybody up to? I'm curious. Like, how are you spending your Saturday night? What you been up to? I'm hoping to see RPG Grandma in here at some point, because I'd like to hear about her karate contest. She went out to a national tournament, I believe. Let me find a good brush for weathering. We're just going to use this guy here. This is an old Artist Loft brush. I've had it for ages. Had to buy more primer. There you go. So redneck. I suppose it is a little redneck. It's a glass. It does what glasses do, doesn't it? And then, like, after you're done with it, you can wash it up and go and pickle your peppers or whatever you do with it. We're going to grab ourselves a little AK Streaking Grime from the stash. This stuff's wonderful weathering. Wonderful for weathering. And we're just going to grime them down. It's a simple procedure. I'm going to put it on the paint shaker real quick. So there we've got our Streaking Grime all shooken up, reconstituted, just the way God meant it to be. If I can get it open. There we go. This is an enamel, I believe. It's definitely an oil-based product for sure. So I have also with me, if you do plan on getting some of this stuff, go ahead and get yourself their White Spirit. You can get a big bottle of this for a couple bucks. And this is just the cleaner you use with it. I usually work in almost all of it in acrylics, but I have since gone with this because it is just, it's great. It's good stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but it gives all of your models that weathered down, kind of grimy look and feel. Really helps to tidy everything up too, while keeping it kind of a realistic look. I'm going to move the camera just a bit so you guys can get a better view here. But I'm just taking it straight out of the bottle. Like, we're going to coat this dude pretty thoroughly. Hey, how's it going? It's the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Tonka Todd in the chat. Yeah, I gotta love him. How's it going, Todd? Good to see you again. Just talking with Todd today. He's really been helping the channel out, bringing forth new ideas and just all kinds of fun, unique, exciting things to discuss when Todd's around, that's for sure. I hope everybody's having an outstanding Saturday night, though. What a day it is. I'm happy to have it. All right. So we're getting his horse all grimed up. I mean, I'm really lathering this on. It's going on pretty heavy, which is a good thing because we're going to be taking most of it off, but it's going to leave a lot of coffee staining and other effect behind. Well, hey, if it wasn't for somebody suggesting it, I don't know if I would necessarily be doing it there, Todd, my friend. You do 1/35th scale, huh? Yeah, okay. 1/35th is actually kind of nice, though, because you can, well, let's see, 1/35th. That's going up in scale, so that's a bit bigger than Warhammer, right? I think Warhammer is 28. Well, that's if we're talking millimeter. I'm trying to get my measurements right, because like I saw some World War II figures the other day from Scale Hobby Supply, and those figures were like 1/58th or something like that. So yeah, 1/35th would be a lot larger if I remember right. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I spoke to Dungeon Minister earlier today too. It sounds like he's doing all right. That's good to hear from him. He jumped in. I was hanging out on the Discord. I decided to do some Discord office hours, just in the general chat, like just in the voice, and I stream in there too. And especially if it's just something that's like, you know, not really totally related to the YouTube stuff, I'll just jump in there and hang out. So that's another reason if you're interested to go check out the Discord, because I'll be popping in there, and if you have any questions to ask, or you know you're around, you see I'm on, please feel free. Don't hesitate. I'm here for everybody in the community. If you're looking for some answers, I'm in there. It's also a good place to find out information on the show or suggest some topics if you've got anything that's, you know, been on your mind you want to talk about with as it pertains to modeling or the hobby or anything? Oh, nice. You're doing some gray nights this weekend? That sounds cool. Have you done up the gray night baby carrier yet? With the like marine in the baby carrier? I always wanted to do one of those because they looked really cool. I wanted to make it look like a demon had attacked it and like hucked its way through there. Do you Road March, do you mainly do like historical stuff, or are you doing like airplanes, diecast cars, or trains or something? Like what's your hobby of choice there when it comes to that scale? Because there was a guy in here a while back, Orbital Air, who was doing World War II scale models. Um, I haven't done any stuff like that, but it's on the books to do up some World War II era things in the future. All right, so we got. Oh, hold on, I forgot. He has this lance that goes on the model, but I'm gonna ship it separate. Well, not ship it separate, but I'm gonna separate it out from the model prior to shipping here, just because I don't want it to bust off in shipping, and it's definitely too delicate to do that. And Todd is right on the money. If you haven't, go ahead and do the click ding ding thing, as it pertains to the uh, the YouTube stuff. Anyways, you collect some German armor kits from World War II. That's pretty cool. I I've always wanted to do a tiger, like a king tiger or something like that. With like the really big, like, I don't know if it's 105 or 88. I'm sorry. One second here. Pardon me. Anywho, I've wanted to do some, either like a king tiger or a panzer during my painting career here. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'd like to, though. We were talking a little while back too about doing a diorama where ants had taken over like a some kind of Soviet laboratory. That's on the books, like giant ants or something. Is kind of a cool way to kind of bring in the diorama community as well, because the diorama community is seriously talented, and I'd love to do something like that. You did some Star Wars figures. That's pretty dope. I dig that. Some Tamiya kits. Cal did 70s model kits. Were your first, huh, Cal? A 1/16th Tiger tank. Um, I'll have to make a lot more money before I can invest in a kit like that. Those kits are expensive, man. They're really expensive. Those large kits, they'll run you some money. That's for sure. So I've got a couple squirts of the white spirit in here just to clean my brush. We're also going to use that with a sponge to kind of dab off some of the streaking grime. Just going to make sure that's nice and saturated. There we go. Very Very nice. But yeah, those kits are this really expensive. Not sure what that was. Could have been anything in this room, really. I'll have to do a tour of the creation cave at some point for everybody. That'll be a big thing. That'll put up there. All right. So I'm gonna get this sponge kind of saturated in these spirits here. I'm gonna press a decent amount of it out of the sponge so that it's just kind of damp. And then now that it's mostly dry, there's a little bit that's wet on here. Hey, what's up, Michael? Good to see you again. Tonight we are weathering General Panic. This is our mounted general for the Horde of the Damned, for the Dungeon Minister. And I just got done literally smothering him in Streaking Grime to be removed so that we can reintroduce some of our highlights and such back that we worked really hard on. Gonna try and leave a decent amount of it on the model, but I'm just taking this sponge here and just kind of dabbing at it. And this has got some mineral spirit on it, and this will take off some of that acrylic Streaking Grime, but it's gonna leave a lot of staining and some texture behind that I think is going to look really nice in the end. But I want him to look like him and his horse kind of just crawled out of the grave here, which is why I went so heavy for it. I'm going to kind of do a little bit more where the bones are. I'm going to try and get a bit more of that off where the bones are. That and some of the cloth areas. This is going to leave a nice stain behind as well, so even if I think I take a little too much off, it's probably all right. Oh, yeah, I'm huffing fumes again. Yeah. I should probably turn the... Well, I've got a fan on. I've got a big fan blowing. I should be fine. That's going to take the most of it out of it. Okay, I'm going to get a bit more of the spirits in the sponge here. So as you can see, it's just kind of dulled a lot of the color on the model. Let's see if we can get a nice close-up kind of process shot here. Right? So here we have I did up his cape and whatnot. It's still darker. You can still see the highlights. It's a bit darker. There's some areas where it looks a bit more weathered. And then this is kind of what we're talking about here, where, I mean, he's still totally submerged in the stuff. You can see just how dark his cape got. But if you look at the back, you can still see it just looks dirtier. It just looks dirtier, grimier. Again, kind of like he just literally walked right out of the grave, which is what I'm hoping for. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out Bo Paints Minis. He was painting up a Sister of Battle the other night, like an ironclad woman from the 40K range. He was painting up a Sister of Battle the other night. He dropped it and stepped on it. And to me, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world because it looked like she was a casualty, like a battlefield casualty. I was all over that. I told him he's got to use her as a casualty. those happy little accidents, you know. So we're slowly but surely getting there. Again, just kind of dabbing around, trying to get a decent amount of it off. Not all of it, but all right, there we are. Try and polish up his chest plate just a little bit. Definitely his face too. There we go. So it did take quite a bit off in certain places, but you know, especially on like where the horse bones are, you can see just what kind of staining that leaves behind, and it just leaves a beautiful old bone look. This kind of fits with the rest of the aesthetic with the Horde of the Damned quite well. Hey, thanks, Michael. I appreciate the compliment. The Horde of the Damned in total is probably about 18 hours worth of paint. Somewhere in there. So I do appreciate the compliment. I've been working long and hard on this skeleton horde for Dungeon Minister. I can't wait for him to get his hands on it. I'm gonna do the same thing here with his lance. Just gonna kind of do this stippling effect. I'm gonna try and make it much more clean on his hand though, because I want those knuckles to show off a bit. And kind of so that you can see where his hand is. You could do this if you didn't have. I use makeup sponges for this, just because I find that they're a nice texture for this. But like, if you got any kind of sponge, you could do this with that. Also, you could do this with like if you were just using a wash. Just put a heavy wash on, and then maybe you could wipe it off with a brush. To kind of give the same effect if you're doing this at home and you're just using straight acrylics. You could do that. Anything that really is at your disposal, to just continue to add on a little extra detail, a little bit of texture is always a good thing to look for. At least in what I like to do. I like a lot of texture, a lot of dark, kind of gritty themes and colors. I haven't done anything that's super high fantasy yet. But if you're looking for that kind of grungy look, Streak and Grime is the way to go, in my opinion. That's just what I really like to use. Almost done here. Just gonna make sure we're getting the last little bits. The final thing I'll say about Streaking Grime is because it's so thin, it will run into nooks and crannies you didn't even know were there until you apply it and take it off. It works wonders at doing that. Okay. So I think that came out actually pretty good. Let's see if I can carefully now flip it around for you. Kind of much the similar on the other side, but just kind of really took it down a peg, and the hues and the shadows and whatnot started to really pop out of it. So we will leave those things to go and dry, as they should. All right, let's check up on chat here. Oh, hey Cal, awesome. Thanks for letting me know about the sale on Miniature Market for the speed paints. I should probably go and buy some because I'd like to do a review on them since it seems like everybody's kind of using them. Thanks for the compliment there. Go for it, painting. I appreciate it. Are any of these miniatures going to be used in a diorama? They're not going to be used in a diorama. They're actually getting sent to the Dungeon Minister for his RPG recaps. It's going to be part of his Honeywood campaign in the near future here once they get out the door. Let's take a look, whatever is on here. The Death Knight says, "Get ready for death." Indeed, indeed. I have no clue how they're gonna fight this horde. It's 30 models strong. If you haven't seen some of the shorts and whatnot, it's a pretty large army of skeletons they're gonna be facing. I got these printed in the UK from a printing company called Sundered Studios. They printed this particular model for me. I didn't have my printer set up at that point. Oh, I didn't know Chandler from Friends passed away. I'm gonna have to tell Sarah about that. She was kind of somewhat into Friends for a little while there. Yeah, I'll have to do a cross check with Gnomish Bazaar, which, by the way, I started hunting through Gnomish Bazaar, and I kind of like their site is really cool. That is pretty cool. He drowned in his hot tub. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Oof. Yeah, Michael, if I hope you have a great time watching his stuff because I absolutely love it. I call it my shoe kicker show. Because as soon as I come through the door from work, he's usually got an update out or whatever. And I check his channel just to see those updates or whatever, and I kick my shoes off, like really, I kick them off, they fly 20 feet or whatever. It's just one of those shows that I'm so excited to go and watch that I call it a shoe kicker show. All right. It's also General Panic here in scale. He's a pretty beefy boy compared to his skeleton compatriots. That's for sure. Same scale and everything though, so I mean, his stuff makes sense. He's just on a horse and a lot bigger. So I'm gonna put him back with the rest of his legion that we've been working so hard on. Put you there, and we'll put the skeleton back. Okay, now next thing on our list is we have this absolutely massive adult silver dragon. I'm just going to take his tail off because it is detachable, so don't think I'm just busting up my own model here because that would be insane, even though I think I kind of have a screw loose anyways. We have this beautiful adult silver dragon. I've decided to add a little bit of bronze on his face here, just to kind of break up the silver. Nothing like, I want it to stay kind of in that realm of D&D believability. So I just took that as a little artistic liberty that maybe this was something regarding maybe his hereditary genes or something. But we've got a little bit of work to do on this dragon. Hey, what's up, Dungeon Minister? Good to see you. Good to see you. As always. I was just telling Michael about your campaigns. He said he was going in for a look. Oh, hey, thanks for stopping by. Go for it, Painting. And I can't wait to check out your stuff too and see what you've been up to. But have a good rest of your morning at 3:30 in the morning. Thanks for stopping by. I've got the underside of the wings to do on this dragon still, which the top ended up going pretty well. I think we used just a lighter shade of blue on the top. So we're gonna do maybe the face. Do something on the face here. I think we want to do a bit more than just silver. So yeah, we'll continue on with the blue schemes. I think we were using a gray blue for the wings. We've got some dark blue, some black blue. There's silver. Probably gonna want silver. Let's see. Dark gray blue. Let's start with that. Yeah, we'll start with that. Did you happen to catch the weathering process on General Panic there, Dungeon Minister? Finally got him weathered down to look. There's some kind of feedback coming in clutch here. Are you guys hearing that too? There's like a faint buzz going on. That is coming from somewhere else in the house. I hope it's not too terribly annoying. But if it is, I'll go investigate further. Collecting Chaos is in the house, everyone. Welcome, welcome, Collecting Chaos. And thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. So I'm going to get some stuff ready here to paint up on this bad boy. Let's get you maybe looking at us. I can't wait to get some washes on this dude and really watch the scales pop. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Wow, we got all the lounge cats coming in here tonight. I'm excited about that. All right. So I think that color should tie in nicely with everything else here. What kind of brush are we going to use to actually get it on the dang thing? Let's find that, shall we? I'm going to dig into the good old Stack Monument I'm going to use maybe like a number 3. Use a sable brush for this. Cool beans. Let's get some water on it. As far as I go with thinning my paint, I mean, you can do it however you'd like to do it. This is just my kind of formula. I'll take my brush, dip it in there, because I don't use a ton of paint to begin with, but I'll just stick my brush in some water, and then I'll start mixing it around. I was gonna try and get that closer to the camera, but that's not gonna show up so well. I'll stick my brush in some water, and then I'll start wiping it off like on the side, or like mixing it into the paint. And once I see that when I wipe it off on the ridge, the consistency of it starts to come down to like whole milk, that's when I kind of know it's ready. And if I need to, I'll just add more water as I go. But that's kind of when I find that I have the best coverage between the how the paint acts and the kind of coverage I get out of it. Because you want your paint to you want it to be easy on yourself, and you want the paint to flow off your brush, but you don't want to like be kind of globbing it on your model, because in all actuality, manufacturers of models, you can buy a ton of cheap models, but they're not going to have a ton of detail. So what you're really paying for when you buy models is detail. And that to me is what you're paying for. And if you pay for that, you're going to want to try and keep it. So having some properly thin paints goes a long way to saving a lot of those details. If you just kind of take it straight out of the bottle or the cup, if it's not designed for that, I mean, I know speed paints are. That's a perfectly valid argument. But if you're thinking about protecting that detail, having thinned paints will really help you with that. Because your paint will naturally nest itself around the high ridges from small little delicate details. And if you don't thin your paints, then you end up just kind of covering over all those details you worked so hard for the hard-earned dollars to buy it. That's just my personal opinion. But you paint however you like. I'm just sharing my little secret sauces that I've picked up along the way. I can't wait to hear the audio of it there, Dungeon Minister. That's one of my favorite things. I like the little reaction stuff. That's always fun to see. So I'm just trying to get this blue down all over these areas here. A little tough since I'm working in a confined little area. So we will go ahead and let that dry off. We'll start on the other side. Well, the dragon here. This is actually for this is for Bill Sylvie over at the Dungeon Delver. This is a dragon that I've been working on for him. It's kind of an off and on project. I told him that it would be a while before he saw it, um, but it's just kind of something that I've tried to fit in here or there. Paint time where I kind of want to just jam out to some music and um, have a little fun, just myself. Um, so this is his kind of thank you dragon for because he was actually the first channel to pick up and offer me a project to work on. So that's kind of why I'm doing this project. The Horde of the Damned though is definitely going to Dungeon Minister. That's all his stuff. Oh right, sorry. I thought I sorry, Michael. I thought you were. I after I reread it, I was like, oh no, he's not asking about this dragon. He's asking about the actual dragon in the campaign. I'm sorry about that. My misunderstanding. I just realized that. Huh. My mind was in paint land. You'll have to excuse me. I found it kind of funny how they managed to barter their way past some goblins. That was pretty fun to watch. Not gonna lie. In your campaign, their dungeon minister. That was pretty funny. Sorry, I just realized I'm doing half of this off camera, but I hope you can forgive me. It's a massive freaking model. I saw this. This is actually having a hard time turning at a local game shop, and because I was already doing Azarath, the Red Dragon, and I saw this, just was not turning, and I realized it's probably because most of the people that come through there, they don't really have an airbrush or anything to do these in any kind of time, because that airbrush will really speed up your painting quite a bit. Um, and so I picked it up from him. I was like, I'll take that off your hands. I got an airbrush. I can do this project, no problem. There we go. It's kind of got this cool color tones going on all over them. I almost tried to rinse my paintbrush in my beer. That would have been a sad, sad moment. They did pay out the nose to them goblins. So now I'm going to let that take its time to dry up before I really go at it with anything else. Just realized I missed a little spot. It seems like I'm doing that these days. I'll find that I've missed a spot or two. There we go. Now we can call that done for now. I feel like there should be just I know this was a conversation, that I'm sure has been held once or twice, but I feel like goblins should be much more loan sharky in settings. That's just kind of my personal opinion. Like, I feel like goblins should definitely be hardcore bankers, or at least like Wall Street fat cats. Just because I think a lot of people portray them as really dumb when in all actuality they're more like opportunists than anything. But that's just my hot take. I can understand why people do the dumb goblins bit, but I think that's kind of their charm to me. They'll take a bridge just to make some gold off of it. You know what I mean? They're the entrepreneurs. Like, I think they should be bankers or fat cats. So this was, if you're not on the Discord, this is one of those things that I'll just kind of point out here. There is an entire section in the Paint Minis Live Discord of just tools of the trade and things that I find that's really cool. And this is one of them. This right here is the freshwater rinse well, and I got this from a hobby supply site. But it's basically an upside down water bottle that will dump into a little bucket underneath here, and all you got to do is press a button, and you'll watch as all the blue paint goes away, and now I'm left with basically clean water. Kind of like a dog dish or kitty bowl or something. But it's super nice because when I rinse out my brushes and everything, they're not taking on any other pigment from the previous color. It's just straight white water. So that's and I've put like links where you can find those things. So if you are interested in painting and just looking at some things that'll make your life a little easier, go ahead and check out the Discord, which there is a invite link scrolling up across the feed, as well as I've had it in previous videos. I don't think I've had it in this one, unfortunately, but I think I am kind of go with a bluer paint scheme for this, just because it's silver. I really want that brass head to kind of stand out. So I am going to go with kind of a muted blue color scheme for blue, gray kind of color scheme for the rest of this dragon. Just because I think it's working well together. The next thing I'm going to try and find a dark neutral gray to do with, I guess we could just sauce some silver on it. I think I had a dark silver in here at one point. But I just got to do the skin tones around his fleshy bits. There's dark blue. Let me go find some paint. So we have a dark neutral gray in the paint. Am I just... here we go. I used it on a different project. It was in a totally different section of paint. So we have a dark, a very dark silver tone that I've got here. I'm just going to put a kind of unshaken drop on the palette so I make sure that is actually really dark. But that's okay. That's okay. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it, folks. We'll make the silver highlights work out. What have you guys been painting up? That's my next question. Any painters in the chat? What are they working on? I know Cal's been testing out some paint schemes in the miniature showcase section of the Discord too. That's always been kind of fun to watch. Whippings. Pray tell, what are you whipping? And Collecting Chaos is still working on the comics. Glad to hear it. How many comics have you inventoried so far, Collecting Chaos? Just out of curiosity. This is kind of a tough angle to film at. There we go. Maybe that'll help. How can I hold you so that people can see your lovely face get painted? Here we are. Over 11,000. Holy man. That's nuts. Well, hey, you know what? I totally respect that. I think I've shared this with you before there, Collecting Chaos, about how I got my start in modeling was actually through comic books. Comic books was the capital funding that I got for my first batch of models to paint. I traded some comic books to a store owner who gave me a really good amount of store credit to just spend in the shop on models And I must have spent so much money with that guy after he did that. But that's where I got my very first models from. And you don't count any duplicates. Yay! So I'll be working on a couple of things uh, that are in the future here for Paint Minis Live. Namely, I'm going to be putting out some tutorial videos. So if you have any interest in a tutorial video, uh, drop me a little line in the Discord on what you'd like to see, because that's actually going to be going in the Discord server shop. Um, it's just going to be just a couple dollars, nothing crazy. If you want some in-depth, very to the point materials on, I'm going to do one on how I care for my brushes. I'm going to do one on how I care for my airbrush. I'm going to do hopefully one on um, some more uh, some more advanced techniques, how I do dry brushing and whatnot, which you can find anywhere. But should you wish to kind of see how I do my style and get like a real true to the point idea on it, you're welcome to throw me a bone and pick those up as a little digital thing for yourself. But the work never stops here at Paint Minis Live. I'm telling you, it is. I'm gonna have to do this section off camera here real quick. It's like this tidbit under his nose. There we go. It's like trying to actually maneuver this thing to paint him is hilariously fun. Okay. So I think we've got most of his flesh is kind of taken care of. I keep bumping him on the side of the spray booth. Okay. So we can set you down now. Very nice. What in the Pray Tell was Sergeant Fury about? Was that like G.I. Joe? Because I'm not 100% certain on that. I think that was a little bit before my time of sucking oxygen. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. But I am intrigued. Just working on his eyes here. Nick Fury, back when he was fighting in World War II in Korea. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, Road March. You have many leather-bound books, and your apartment smells of rich mahogany. Oh boy. I love the smell of old wood like that, though. There's something about it. So I guess if I'm ever in your area, I'm dropping by to take a whiff of your apartment, shake your hand, and say, hello, good sir. Can we put that on the book sometime? Now I am trying to forcefully. Now I'm trying to get the dragon to deep throat the paintbrush, as I've got to paint the inside of his mouth, and this feels like I need to ask for consent. I'm sorry. I it's just like I gotta get really open up wide. Say ah. Yeah, that's okay. Looks like we got a couple cavities in here. There, uh, Silver Snout, the dragon. It looks like you have some cavities that need to be filled in here. Does your mom know you're not brushing 3 times a day? You're supposed to be brushing 3 times a day. We talked about this last visit, right? And his howling commandos, so that's pretty cool. I can get down with that. I should go and pick up a freaking comic book. It's been a while. Like I used to read old Simpsons comics and stuff. And your dime store Archie or whatever, used to read some of those too. But it's been a long time. I should really go pick one of those up. Put on those suckoses from the dentists in there. That's funny because my mom just retired as a dental hygienist. And I definitely know the suckos you're talking about. He keeps getting paladin stuck between his teeth. Yeah. The silver dragon with too many root canals. Okay. We're gonna swish and spit, all right? We're just gonna swish and spit. All right. Yeah, okay. There we go. Good lord. All right, so that is some decent progress. That's more progress than I've made in a while on this dragon, actually. I think I'm gonna do up his horns here too. Oh crap! Got a little accidental brush stroke coming in to say hello, just when I don't really need it. That's okay. Got a little silver on the blue. This is just, it's hard to handle is the problem. It's hard to, like, what I really should have done if I was going to paint this tonight is I probably should have just like put up a tripod behind my shoulder so you could actually see what was going on, or like maybe off to the other side of me. If I was going to do this again, that's how I would do it. Because this is actually kind of like riding the struggle bus. Trying to show any kind of process that I'm doing here. But yeah, I absolutely love the idea that this dragon has too many root canals because he keeps getting paladins stuck in his teeth. That is gold level comedy. So I think we were gonna call that there for the dragon. There's some other things to do, like his claws still need to be done. He's still got to get a couple coats of weathering on him. But we're getting really close to the end stages on this guy. I can't wait for Bill to check this one out. And it even has its own flight stand too, which is awesome. I mean, it's a large flight stand. And I'm hoping to, I'm going to put my logo on the flight stand, so that anytime he takes it out, he can think fondly of Bill T from Paint Minis Live for doing with the silver dragon that had too many paladins stuck between his teeth. Which, to be honest, do I have a paladin? I have a human barbarian that I could maybe I could put in its mouth. I have a human barbarian. Would it even fit? Maybe not. Do I have any dwarf or halfling things? I probably have some halflings somewhere. What are you? I have a female halfling cleric. That could probably go in its mouth. Because, I mean, wouldn't that be kind of cool? It's just... But it's kind of chaos. It's what is it, the chromatic dragons are the good dragons, and then the metallic dragons are the good dragons, and then the chromatic dragons are the bad dragons, or something. I don't know. I don't know the D&D lore so well, so maybe one of you guys could help me out with that. I was eyeballing you as a character to... Yeah, something similar to that. We'll clip the base off, but would save me from having to paint a mouth. But yeah, we could stick this this little halfling cleric in its mouth like it just chomped on her. Could use a dragon lance as a toothpick. Yeet. So, anywho, whatever it's eating aside, and I will have to put that back in its case. I'm really excited to ship that off to Bill when it's done, and have him drool over it on his channel with the rest of a bunch of you guys, because I know you're from the Bill Sylvie gang. All right, here we go. I thought his Call of Cthulhu live stream was really cool. If you haven't seen that, check that out. You should. You definitely should. What else are we doing tonight for the weekend warrior painting? Cal's got an entirely separate day I have planned for his stuff. I think, yeah, I've got an entirely separate thing for Cal. So we're going to work on his stuff probably like on Tuesday, I'm thinking. But you can check that out. A halfling with a golden ring in his mouth. Now that would be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty nice. What a crazy couple of weeks, friends. I know you haven't seen me yet, but in the background, it has just been pretty chaotic. I have been I'm so happy for a weekend. I don't think I've been this happy for a weekend in quite a while. Just going to go over a couple things with you real quick for anybody who's new to doing the painting thing. I'll give you a quick preview rundown of a little bit of brush care. Yeah, Tuesday is Halloween. I don't even have candy. Oh, crap. That's right. I don't want to put... Oh, thank you, Road March, for reminding me. Dang. So I can't do... Well, everybody's going to be busy on Halloween. Anybody who has a kid, anyways. I will figure out when I gotta give Cal his due, man. I gotta get some work done on those dwarves. But I'm using some brush soap here, and I'm just gonna let that soak into the bristles a little bit. I've got some water on the brush as well, and I'm gonna make a little pasty out of it. And I'm gonna keep adding some more water until I get kind of definitely the consistency of washing your hands. And it's going to pull a lot of the pigment as well as the acrylic binder out of your brush. I tend to just wipe whatever the excess is on the outside, and then depending on what kind of brush soap you have, some of them are actually a 2-in-1 where it's a soap and a conditioner. I highly recommend one that is a soap and a conditioner. And then I will form the brush into a point for storage. And I wouldn't recommend twisting. It's like twisting a ton on the bristles. I'd just point it out, because the more tension you put on those bristles, the more likely they are going to slip out of this part, which is actually called the ferrule of the brush. The ferrule of the brush. And then you have the brush, and then the tip and the handle. But anywho, just a little extra education for anybody out there interested. And then I can just sheath my weapon here if I can find the little thingamabob for it. That's okay, this one didn't have one. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Most people already did the candy thing. Well, I know around here it's been kind of nuts. It's like 50, like going down into like the 40s or whatever already this early into October. So them little kidlets are going to be frozen. They're talking about snow this weekend, like on Saturday, basically. Or not Saturday, tomorrow. They're talking snow tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I hope not. Them little kidlets going to freeze their buns off for Halloween this year up here. Have I watched any cool... Has anyone watched any cool horror movies? I watched a couple, actually. I went and saw the... this spooky season anyways. I went and saw the new... Exorcist. The new Exorcist movie, Exorcist Believer or something like that. I went and watched that in the theaters. I was so excited for it that this sounds really snarky, but like it's been so long since I've gone to a theater. I'm pretty frugal with my money. I bought me and Sarah a seat, and then I bought the seat to the left and the right. So I just wanted to make sure we had a couple space for the movie, a couple space. Anyways, I went and did that, and I totally regretted it because I was not a huge fan of the film. Um, really not that big of a fan. I think they spent like almost 400 million or something on licensing alone for that film, and I think that's where most of the budget went because it did not it felt less exorcisty than the original Exorcist. Let's just put it that way. The in between parts where the characters are interacting and everything, some girls go missing in the beginning, characters interact, and then the girls come back home. You get some of the Exorcist stuff. You wrap it up with a big, huge try and get rid of the evil demon thing. The end felt really rushed. The actors did a phenomenal job. The acting was actually very good. The story really kind of fell apart. Unfortunately, it's one of those movies. But I did enjoy the acting of it. It was quality acting. I will not deny that. It was very, very good. But I was a little disappointed in the story aspect of it. I have seen a lot of ghosty kind of demon movies going on here for spooky season. The next one I watched was The Pope's Exorcist on Netflix. And I thought that was way better than the other one. It got a little bit more outlandish towards the end with the special effects and like the whole super creepy stuff, but I thought it was really good. If you haven't seen it, Pope's Exorcist, would recommend for a Hollywood spooky scary story. The Nun from the Conjuring series. I watched The Nun from the Conjuring series. I thought that was a fantastic ghost story demon movie thing. The acting was really pretty well done. I really liked it. I watched and then I watched The Nun 2, which just literally came out this month. The Nun 2, which was also pretty good. I did enjoy that one. So those are some spooky scaries that I've seen so far this Halloween, that I've totally enjoyed. And well, not totally, not the first one. The other two, the Nuns movies, Nuns for fun, and apparently nuns with guns at times. Exorcist 3, if you haven't seen it. Are you talking about the old Exorcist series? Is that from the older ones from like back in the 70s, 80s, something like that? But yeah, I have been enjoying me some spooky, scary movies. The Devil Made Me Do It. The Devil on Trial as well. I watched that this season too. That was a kind of, it's more of a documentary style with the little kid that got that was possessed. I suppose that's very subjective thing to talk about, but it's I guess he got possessed, and the Warren people came by, these ghost demonologist, ghost hunter kind of couple, and they documented his stuff, and eventually later on, they a close family member murdered somebody else, and they claim that it was possession. Interesting documentary, pretty well done. It's also got some reenactment kind of stuff in there. It's good. It's some good time filler if you're looking for something like that. In the 1990s, okay. I'll have to go and take a look at it. Has anyone I remember hearing about this on over on Bill's show, but Man Bites Dog, I think is the name of the movie. Like, is that one any good? Somebody said it was really messed up, and I get really intrigued about morbid things. So if anybody's seen that, feel free to let me know if it's good or not, worth the time to watch. I also watched, for the first time, I watched Terminator. I watched Terminator 2, and I skipped over the third one and went right on to Genesis. I had a friend I was watching these with, and he was like, "Nah, man, don't even go for, uh, just skip 3, go right on to Genesis, because I want to watch the next couple of Terminator movies or whatever." But I saw Terminator for the first time, and I thought that was good. I thought that Terminator movie was good. I can see why people are like really, really into that. And if you've seen the I always wonder what it would be like to be exposed to Warhammer for the first time. I've only had that one other time. There was a guy, because Warhammer is kind of my that's my heartthrob here at Paint Minis Live is Warhammer 40,000. That was like what got me into doing miniatures in the first place. I have since branched out from that, but there was a guy doing some voiceover readings of some Warhammer 40K material, and it was like, oh, that's cool. But I felt that, oh, that's cool feeling with the Terminator movies for sure. Is the only one anyone needs to watch. I thought the second one wasn't too bad either, to be honest. Like I thought the second one wasn't so bad. But yeah, the first one, if you're just introducing somebody to it, and you're having a movie night or whatever with somebody, yeah, definitely I could agree with that. The first one is all you really need. They kind of package that story in a wonderful little bow and everything. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. But anywho, I think you recently watched Battle Simulator use Warhammer, which led me to learning about the games. What's Battle Simulator? Is that like one of those computer, like the video games, like Totally Epic Battle Simulator or something like that, where you can put like 1,000 dudes on the screen and watch them duke it out? I started with the game myself, and then branched out into the lore. So I kind of reversed. Okay, yeah, Battle Simulator. Yeah, I started with the tabletop game, and then I went into the lore later on, like and did the book thing. Are there any like D&D books that are worth reading? Maybe Collecting Chaos knows if you've got like some graphic novels or like some D&D graphic novels or something. But I would be totally into doing some of that. Taking reading some Warhammer lore, or not Warhammer lore, but some D&D lore. Because I mean, I have not really a lot of knowledge about D&D's like game lore. I kind of just cooked up homebrew stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, these are the rules, and these are the dwarves, and these are the hobbits and things like that. Kind of like from Lightmane's stuff. He laid out what all the cultures were and stuff, but it seemed like this was kind of more his homebrew thing, which is what I did. I never really took a listen or took a read to the published lore of Dungeons and Dragons. Oh yeah, for sure. I love watching those two. Jedi Knights versus 6 million zombies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen those too. I actually have that on my computer upstairs. I recently came into the hands of it's older. I think it's probably from like 2014, something like that. But it's a legitimate like server. I don't know how to describe it other than it's one of those very not thin, but it's like a rectangle, and it's meant to be slotted into a rack server, kind of like one of those. I ended up with one of those, And what I'd like to do is put Windows Server on it and then load that game into it and see just how hard I can make that thing chug with having however many cores and multiple processors on it, because I think that would be cool. I can't wait to get some footage of the Horde of the Damned in my mind with, instead of just 30 skeletons, it's like a couple million. Oh, Todd. Oh, Todd. I didn't mean I didn't mean old. It's just technology moves quick, I guess. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Big Dragonlance fan as well. So much out there when it comes to RPGs and D&D. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be throwing games on that server. But yeah, I'm interested in that too, and just learning a little bit more about the Dungeons and Dragons lore. I know they have like gods and stuff in there, and there's different planes of existence and how that stuff works, and I don't know anything about it. I kind of want to know things about it because I feel like I want to be knowledgeable amongst our community of nerds. Is Dragonlance another like role playing game then too? Bunch of kids in here. I'm only 28, man. How do you think I feel like a toddler? Yeah. Man, I appreciate all the PML live chat lounge cats showing up and coming out in force. I tell you what, it's always a good time when the live chat lounge cats are about. Keeps me able to control the little voice in the back of my head and just tell him to answer comments while I paint, and that helps me keep on track pretty good. I do appreciate everybody being in here tonight. Oh, Dragonlance is one of the D&D worlds. Okay, so it's like it's one of their pre-bake things. Okay. Oh, so what? So it's not just one thing. It's not just Forgotten Realms. No, they've got it. Forgotten Realms is just like a little thing over here, and then you got the Dragonlance thing over here, and so there must be. Wow. Okay. All right. Jumping out of airplanes before you jump out of the school bus. That is true. That is true. I do not doubt it at all. I salute you, sir, if you were jumping out of airplanes. Well, that's pretty interesting. Wow, I had no clue. So okay, so yeah, Greyhawk is its own totally different world, separate from. It's not like Greyhawk is just it's not like this is the world, and you've got Forgotten Realms as a continent and Greyhawk's a continent, blah blah blah. It's like no, these are different universes then, huh? Like if I could, in my mind, they're totally different universes, like Marvel and DC or something like that. They don't really collide with each other, right? Is that what I'm picking up here? That's kind of what it seems like in my mind. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm happy that I'm tracking now. Well, now I want to find out now I want to find out where I can get all the lore on Greyhawk and like the Dragonlance stuff. I'm more interested in the old school stuff, to be honest. Burrows and bunnies? There's a thing called burrows and bunnies. We have bunnies. Like me and Sarah, we got two little bunnies upstairs right now. We got Honeydew and Moose are upstairs. Our two little dwarf rabbits that are probably plowing away at some cabbage right now. Well, they're hanging out with Mum upstairs, you know. But there's a thing called burrows and bunnies. The things I don't know. I constantly come back out of these knowing far more than I did when I started, but it blows my mind every time with the live chat. The things I've learned. It's like the Today I Learned section of Paint Minis Live needs to be a thing, I think. Well, congratulations. That's 190 more. You did. That's a good stash of work there, collecting chaos. Been reading Watership Down. There you go. There you go. That's one of those like prerequisite kid stories, in my opinion. That's one of those ones I got to put on the list. Things to read to the kidlets. Should I make some little spawns? What did we learn on the show today? Well, I learned that D&D has multiple universes. I learned that a lot of people are in here are veterans of the D20. Wow, I did not know half of these. Well, I could suppose there'd be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role-playing game. That was a huge thing back in the day. And then I talked with Todd earlier today, too, about Tunnels and Trolls and how that kind of morphed apparently into GURPS, which is a open style role-playing set of rules. Oh boy. Huh. So yeah, all the gods left and there's no magic. Or holy magic anyways. No clerics or anything. It's just the things I didn't know, friends. The things I didn't know. I truly didn't. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave the Weekend Warrior stream here. We're gonna wrap it up. Don't worry. We'll probably get a thing or two in before we totally shut it down. But I am gonna start wrapping it up here soon. For the Weekend Warrior stream. I'm just a little bit of turbulence with some stuff going on in real life here, and I do plan on putting some stuff out more regularly. Besides just the, I'll let you know when I got the free time. But we'll get back on track soon. And just a lot of turbulence coming on in the real life right now that I'm navigating my way through and trying to keep the YouTube channel active. And you guys are a huge support in that. When things like this happen and people are still coming up and watching the replays, even for just a little bit, or interacting by putting a comment or asking a question, joining the Discord, whatever it is, that bit of interaction keeps the channel relevant, and it keeps spreading the good word about the hobbies. Because without any interaction on any of the videos, like the clicks you can put on there, doing all the stuff we already know about, that doesn't need to be said. Doing those things keeps the channel relevant, and at least we'll continue to spread it out to people that may not know anything about these wonderful hobbies that we've come to know and love. And that's kind of the whole point of this, is to kind of spread that word. So I do thank you all for your support with doing that. And I have seen stuff roll in while I've been away. It's really nice that I've got a community that has my back in such a big way. Um, am I a Lord of the Rings fan? I am definitely a Lord of the Rings fan. How are my parents doing in the transition? My mom was stressed the heck out because she was so worried. She wanted to make sure the house was looking in good order so they could sell it. I put a new lighting fixture up. I did some drywall work, throwing some mud and patching some holes on my dad's wheelchair. Has a couple scrapes here and there, so I did that. I did some wood filling and some of the trim. I removed a bunch of popcorn ceiling. We did some. She's doing painting right now, some places. After that was all done, I've got to go and do some. I have to go and take out an outlet and actually cover it because the outlet isn't functional anymore. So it's just kind of an eyesore that it's taken apart and messed up. So I'm just going to go put a cover on there. She's really worried about it because it's a big step in their life, and I wanted to put her at ease. So I stayed a little longer and did a couple of things. I've been trying to catch up at work from being out a couple days. My dad's just trying to be a good supporter and kind of have his hand at my mom's back, and he's a wonderful job at that. And it was good to see him and whatnot. But they're excited. They're really excited. They're happy to have a place that's going to suit them, and also have some ability for dad to get around, and some lower countertops in the kitchen and stuff for him to cook in. It's going to be great. My dad was huge in the kitchen. Hey, I couldn't agree more there, Michael, about finding channels on YouTube. I would agree. You painted a 9-inch Hulk model. There you go. Collecting chaos. Maybe we can get one more in you if you happen to have some time. I'd love to see a model from you in the Paint Minis Live model showcase. No Lethal Company. No, none that I know of. Have an electrician look at that outlet. Yeah, for sure. Well, as far as I know, the lines are actually cut for it, and they've got a tag on the line so that none of those wires actually work. They're not going to a box or anything. It needs a cover for it. They just didn't do that work, if I remember right. So it should be fine. It just needs to get taken care of. Liam, it's good to see you. I'm happy you're here. Denzel, you're doing some etching, huh? There you go. I'll make sure I'll go and check out the tags in the basement. Make sure that if there is anything I have to worry about, we'll get somebody in the house to take care of it. That is a good reminder, Road March. So I will do that. That will be on my list before I even touch the cover. I'll make sure to see if it was done by a electrician and what had happened with that. It's old knob and tubing stuff, which I believe they took most of that out. So, Cal, my guy, you're going to be getting your own day of painting. Don't worry, it's coming up. I guess I was scheduling you for Tuesday. I forgot it was Halloween. That's how fast all this stuff's been moving. Doing some critical hits on a pizza. I like it. I think we're at about an hour 45. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go spend some time with Sarah upstairs. I'm gonna get some dishes done. I'm gonna go and maybe veg a little bit longer. I'll go ahead and make sure I put up the next live stream when available. And with that, I now think I am going to turn in. Thank you all, you wonderful people, for coming out and watching Paint Minis live tonight, spending some time with me. I appreciate the live chat lounge cats with a large heart. Collecting Chaos, Calvinoni, Road March, Denzel, Liam, so many others. Let's see, we had Michael Murtag in here tonight. This is all for people in the if they're watching the replay. I don't think I have that on screen yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that, if that's even possible. But we have Michael Murtag in here, the Dungeon Minister, the one and only Tonka Todd, and then Go For It Painting, who I appreciate very much for being in here. And now I'm highlighting comments that I don't mean to because I run the show on the world's tiniest keyboard. Yeah, literally, that's how I run the show. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry about that. But thank you all for coming. Have a great rest of your night. And we will see you again very soon. Make sure to do all the clicky things, and we'll talk to you again shortly.